Here's how our gardens fared while we were traveling, visiting family in Indiana, Colorado, and Arkansas. Alright, we're starting here by the shed for the cisterns, where I planted some plants from Mom, some natives. They were getting pretty dried out, so I mulched them since we're going to be gone and gave them a good dose of water. The hostas on the back side are looking really good. The little tiny hostas are doing okay. There's some little irises there. And then these little guys are looking pretty good. And we've got lots of hostas coming in right here. And we have some lily of the valley in there. I'm sure they'll be spreading. Got a bunch of other stuff growing everywhere. It is kind of crazy. Some iris coming in right there too. Char hopefully will water if we need to, but it looks like we're going to get a little rain today. Maybe we won't need it. You can see about mid-level. So our rain barrels are in good shape for garden water on that side. I had to add a third tire to that potato bin. You can even see them coming out already on the top. The little I think the fingerlings are in that one, and they are now starting to come up, so that's good. And then my sunchokes are getting tall. My peas are fantastic. My rhubarb is looking pretty good. My big onion is nice. I planted some little guys in these pockets, so hopefully they'll come up while we're gone. And then I did a little planting over here of some spaghetti squash, so they are kind of tucked down in, and there's another one back there, and there's a big one right here on top. So anyways, those guys hopefully will start thriving while we're gone. Probably the most fragile stuff are our lettuces, which are coming in now. Hi, Mr. Lucky! I planted some lavenders right here, and they should be okay. They've got a little bit of a bowl there. We've got a little bit of stuff coming up in this bed. And those, I think those are pansies, I think that Char gave me. Cute, cute, patooth. They're growing gigantically. And then the other lettuce bin is over here. And my chives look fantastic. So I'm going to take you out front and show you the other garden too, so we can kind of see. And this is kind of what the yard looks like. It's probably going to be out of control when we get back. This is Mom, where I planted the lavender, or not lavender, sorry, the French lilac, and it's looking okay. It looked like right after I planted it, something big came and like ripped it up and tore it out of its roots. So, where I just planted it like a day or two before, but now I got her back in there and she seems to be in good shape. The ferns are just thriving right now. They are amazing. And we've got gooseberries. Oh, here's for Ed. Look at those gooseberries. And this orchard also is getting pretty grown up, but most of the things that are really critical still have nice little clearings around them. Something's getting into that current. But columbine's grown up big. I spent some time today looking for my onion and found it and whipped all the grasses down around it. And there's a little, I think that's a chokecherry, and the big honeyberry, and I cleared out some of the grasses around it, and the little hazelnut, and some of the primroses. Okay, and then here's the girls. I have put a super on with the queen excluder on the strong colony. The weak hive is actually looking better. The bee population has greatly increased. The queen looks like she's laying well, so that's good. And then in this bed we now have this big tomato on the end, which has blossoms. And we have 4 other little tomatoes. And my other stuff coming in. The squash is really growing great down there at the end. Celery's coming up out of the tube. And then you can see the potatoes are coming up. There's more potatoes on this side coming in. More potatoes there next to the kale. The sunchokes that I planted, we'll see how they do. They've only been there for a few days. The kale over in that corner is looking good. There's more potatoes here. And 2 more tomatoes that I put in on this bed. And my cucumbers are looking pretty good. And so, hey, we're going to grow some food at least this year. I wanted to basically document the gardens to see how they look for weeds, etc. And then we'll see how they look when we get back. So, we will give you an update then. So while the trip started out with a flat tire, we eventually got to see our friends and family, and even our kids, during this trip through Indiana, Arkansas, and Colorado. And we are back. It is Sunday, June 25th in the a.m. We got back yesterday. My little natives are looking okay. I'm glad I mulched them. Looks like we've even got some little blooms. It's cool. It's been raining while we were gone, which is great. So Char didn't have to water too much. Those little hosta guys are good. Got a lot of water here, and things are looking good back here. Things have really grown up. So you can see the clover, these little crazy dudes. Oh my God, they're everywhere. French lilac is there. I don't know how good she's doing, but we'll keep an eye on her. She's still green. So everything else is big too. I checked the gooseberries on the way in yesterday. They're looking pretty. And here are my little gooseberries. And there are quite a bunch of them. So we'll let them keep growing and harvest them sometime, hopefully. With my gooseberry in the middle, I'm going to have to weed whack my way back in to get in there, but he's in there. And you can see my nanny berry. Ugh, everything's overgrown. This part of the orchard also is looking a little overgrown. My little onion there isn't looking super great, but the hazelnut is really getting big, so that's a good sign. Peonies don't look like they have popped, although I don't see any little bloom buds on them, so maybe this year we're just going to miss the show, and next year we'll get some blooms. I'm not sure. Nice. Oh my gosh, this is just crazy grown up. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't know if you can see my orange flag back in there. Yeah, there's something back in there, but everything has just taken over, so we'll have to kind of carefully hack through this stuff. The primrose are coming up through here. You can see that little guy there. There's a bunch of them right there. We'll see, they should be coming up soon. And yeah, it's gotten kind of crazy. My honeyberry is not the tallest thing anymore, and this is crazy. There's also, oh, there's my little mullion. There is also a bunch of stuff growing in the greenhouse because we didn't put down a whole lot of stuff around the edge, so that'll be something to do later. But some of my stuff that I left out here is also still growing, so I'll probably have to get some of these guys in. We'll see how they do. Yep. Slow, 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 but sure. And this is fantastic. I am super stoked about this garden. You can see my tomato has gotten super huge right here. All the other little tomatoes have grown. The cabbage is growing. That squash is growing. We have to absolutely get this cleared out for the bees because it is nuts. But look at these potatoes. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. Huge, 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 huge flowering. So my kale is getting up there. We should maybe harvest a little of that. We'll see. So yeah, this is looking not too bad. And the grasses are mostly on the outside of the garden. So we'll get those cleaned up and this place will be looking pretty good. So how did things look after we got everything cleaned up? They look great. And speaking of great, here's a lovely picture of the rock art that Shar brought for us. She put a little bra on our rock on the porch, and I think it rocks. See what I did there? Well, this makes a huge difference. We have cleared out all of the overgrowth. So, didn't really have a whole lot to do here, but as far as weeding and everything, but I did get a couple more plants planted, a couple cabbages, and I planted a couple of more over here, cabbages, and you can see these spaghetti squashes are just looking good, so hopefully they will take off. And the garden over there is looking much better now that it's not totally overgrown. So we'll show you the out front garden too. Okay, this part of the clearing is looking much better, and you can see we weed whacked all around the perimeter of our fence. And check out this amazing stuff. These potatoes have just gone wild while we were gone. Cucumbers are still growing. I put in a couple more cabbages. I've planted a bunch more little tiny onion sets. I don't know if they're gonna make it. They were kind of dried out, but the Amish guy gave them to me for free. So I'll try them anyway. Got a couple more tomatoes and things going up here. Put a couple more cabbages in there, and we cleared out the landing zone for the girls, and they are looking active today.